Welcome back to the first conference. We will now move on to the paper presentation sessions. And our first presenter is Wisal Al-Balushi, who will be presenting her paper on governing public-private tensions of open-source software communities in the higher education sector.
So good afternoon. My name is Wisal. I'm a staff member here in Sultan Qaboos University. I'm currently conducting my PhD research in the University of Nottingham. I'm in my second year of the PhD journey, and what I'm presenting today is a part of my research. Before I start, I just would like to note, as you've noticed in the schedule, there is no specific time for questions, so unfortunately. So I'd be thankful if you can email me your feedback. My email is on the conference proceedings, and your constructive critique is most welcome. So let's get started. Basically, I'm going to talk about two main things. I will describe the main topics used in my research, the open source community, open source governance, and what I mean by public-private tensions. The second part of my presentation, I will summarize the direction of my research by stating the objectives and contributions of my research. So to start with, yesterday and this morning we had a lot of talks about community, and we're almost aware about it. Just briefly, an open source community consists of individuals as well as organizations that have different roles and motives. They collaborate together in order to produce a software. This software is under open source license. What's specific about, there are various types of licensing, but they're all common in that the source code should be revealed. It should be available for the public to reuse, modify, and redistribute. And the most important feature is the non-excludability. No individual nor organization should be excluded from benefiting out of the open source software. And in order to sustain, the community needs functional, financial, and technical support, which is provided through the complementary services. So in general, the complementary services do not build the core software. However, they support the community through consultancy services, for example, providing add-on programs or just integration services that complement the community. There are various factors that are influencing how to govern open source communities. One of the main factors is the dispersed community. We are talking about collaborators who are located in the internet. They are in different parts of the world. They form a virtual organization. This raises communication and coordination issues. Another main factor is the openness of the software. The non-excludability feature raises issues with regards to scalability and the outcomes. Another main factor is the conflicting interests. As I've mentioned in the previous slides, I'm talking about a community that includes individuals and organizations with different motives. So therefore, the community experiences conflicting interests. So open source governance is necessary to sustain these communities. So governance is essential to build the community at the very beginning by attracting contributors and retaining them. Governance is essential to resolve communication issues, to plan for the future direction of the project, to implement decision-making and leadership procedures. And the most important thing that is the focus of my research is the role of governance in resolving the contradictory agendas, the conflicting interests, which I refer to in my research as public-private tensions. By public, I refer to the common interest of the open source community. And by private, I refer to the interests of individuals and organizations participating in the community. Just to clarify, I'll give you an example. Conflict between, the tension between openness and control, for example. Openness is a common interest that is a common interest for all individuals and organizations. Control is the interest of the governing body. They want to impose some sort of control to improve the quality, for example. So this is one example, conflict between openness and control. So by governing public-private tensions, I mean fulfilling the individual interests of the participants integrating them in order to achieve a common objective. This takes us to the second part of the project, which is I start with the objectives of my research. So my aim is to study the governance mechanisms practiced in open source communities that are serving higher education sector in particular. And I'm targeting a community that is building information systems, ERPs, complex information systems, not any type of software. Of course, there are research that have been done in this area, governing open source communities. However, the previous studies mainly focused on horizontal applications. In other words, applications that are serving users in a wide range, regardless of their profession. It attracts developers that have generic programming skills, for example, operating systems, databases, email servers. The main focus of the previous studies was also on self-managed communities that rely on volunteers. On the other hand, in my research, I'm aiming to focus on more vertical-oriented applications, sector-oriented applications that are targeting users with specific profession, attracting developers that besides their development and programming skills, they should be knowledgeable in that particular sector. And why am I targeting higher education in specific? Well, there are two main reasons behind that. First of all, the industry that builds ERPs, the business industry, IT industry, does not fulfill the particular needs of higher education sector. Another reason is that the nature of open source community aligns a lot with the values practiced in the higher education environment. And I'm talking about peer reviewing, knowledge sharing. And it's interesting to know whether these values influenced how higher education governed their open source communities. And of course, there is an important motive behind it. I work for a higher education sector, and I'm interested to know how these communities are governed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to study a community called Quali. It's an open source community developed by universities for universities. It was initiated by American universities 10 years ago. Started with 6 universities, and now I'm talking about more than 60 universities as well as companies that work together in order to build ERPs. They pool their resources to build, to build specific ERPs for higher education. I'm talking about finance applications, payroll, HR, student information systems, research systems. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to look at their documents. My main target is to analyze their documents, technical and functional documents, their plans, their workflows, email discussions, meeting minutes. I'm going to analyze these documents in order to extract what sort of public and private tensions are available in higher education communities, and whether they're resolved or not resolved, and how they are resolved through governance mechanisms. What are the governance mechanisms that are practiced? So this is the main objectives of my research. Hopefully, there are contributions to my research in terms of theory and practice. In terms of theory, as I've mentioned earlier, the main focus of current research was on horizontal domains, voluntary contributions. I'm aiming to develop open source governance theory by providing empirical evidence on governing vertical domains, sector-oriented applications. My practical contributions, hopefully, will be I'm willing to provide the higher education sector with alternative solutions to the classical buy-build dilemma that often universities fall in when developing ERPs. So just to sum up, the message that I would like to convey is that open source software is not the solution for all our software development problems. But by looking at the communities and how they are governed, we learn lots of lessons. In other words, by looking at a complex community that builds complex applications with multiple organizations and pooled resources, definitely will come up with insights that how to govern one ERP within one organization. Thank you.